Hi, how are you? I want to talk to you about escape plan. And it's due to what I talked to you a few days ago about abusive relationships and how they start. And if you find yourself in one, you need an escape plan. Like I said, I left from that relationship in a hurry and with a little preparation. But I didn't have a choice. I couldn't sit in front of a table and start negotiate, or I wouldn't be here talking to you today. Well, what is escape plan and when you have to do it, or when it's wise to prepare? Well, let's first dive into what you can do in advance. I would recommend that find out the timetables of buses and trains that lead somewhere rather quickly and from where, so that if you need to vanish, you can vanish quickly. And you can vanish outside your front door if it's possible. If there are buses going by to the train station or just somewhere that is not there. That's good to know and to keep in mind. If you have a car, your own car, or you use car regularly, make sure that the gas tank is always half full, so it's never empty. So if you have to drive an hour or two, you can do that before gas runs out and you have to stop and you have to use a credit card. Because if you do not have credit card with you, you cannot refill anywhere and then you stop there. And you may not be in any safe place when the gas runs out. To have access to the car, you need car keys. And there is usually at least two set of keys. So make sure that you have the other one in your regular place. Maybe it's a handbag, and maybe it's a hook in the lobby or something like that. But make sure that the other set is somewhere that only you can find it. So if you have to leave and the other one is saying no and taking your keys, you have the spare set of keys for you somewhere. It can be a lingerie drawer or makeup bag or just out under all linens, somewhere that he will never look, that he will never go. And of course, to be able to do any of that, there is one crucial thing, actually one thing that I look up wherever I go, is where to exit. We have 3 doors leading outside. I don't need an escape plan, but if somebody comes from the front door, I have to be able to decide very quickly, where do I go out? And the same applies to this kind of relationships. If he loses it, think about where do you get out. I wouldn't go out from a door that leads to forest, because there you are at his mercy if he follows you. If you cannot go through front door because he is always in that neighborhood of the building, then you have to make some other choice. Pick a window if you need to. If your window leads straight to your neighbor's lawn and they are reasonable people, that's a good option. Or if it's just by your car, it's a good option. And there is that positive in the window. Nobody ever suspects that you are going out of the window. But that's more than often my escape route. For example, when we go to Italy and stay in a house, and sometimes I get this kind of fear that what if somebody comes here with the gun or with a knife or with the axe or something like that, and I just have to get out, maybe to the shed to get something like handy for me, then it's more often window to the roof and stairs down. But think about it. What is your escape route if they somehow lose it without any warning? And of course, it's helpful if you start preparing in advance. Start to save cash. Put aside 10 or 20 every once in a while and pick again a location that he will never look. So in a lingerie drawer, between bed linens, where you, I don't know, whatever that place is in your home, then use that and put aside cash, enough that you will survive for a week or two. If you have to go into a hotel, you can. If you have a separate bank account and separate credit cards, that's good. But if you don't have, then think about if you should open an account and take a card from another bank. Because it's very easy to get somebody's credit cards closed. If you know the number, you just call and say that this has been stolen, and you will not pay anything with that card. They do not suspect that they are lying or just bullying you. But without money, without credit card, without phone, you won't get far. And with credit card, you're easily found, and with phone. But you can pay anyone still in cash. So put aside cash and set up another bank account and a credit card if you can in another bank where they cannot access. So these are the main things, the crucial things. But if you really think about it, put aside a set of clothes. If you can, if you have a locker at gym, if you have a locker at work, put there a few set of clothes just in case. You can switch them every once in a while, but keep a set of clothes ready in somewhere or just in your shelf so that you can just rush it into a bag and go without thinking. Because if you have to be at work or be anywhere every day where people can see you, you cannot wear the same clothes all the time. And if you have to start to buy everything from scratch, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And there is no small set of cash that's going to cover that. And just remember that in the end, you may be able to have something of your own. But due to escape plan, the goal is to save your life and to save you from injury. So now you have bus timetables approximately, train timetables, and you have a car half full of gas, and you have a spare set of keys, and you have some cash, and you have some credit card, and you have a bank account that you have money put aside. And this is a very good start. You are much further than the girl next door. But if we talk about next door, talk to your neighbors. Find out which are the reliable ones that you can count on. And if the worst thing happens and you just have to go out without anything, without your money, without your keys, without anything, then you know whose door to knock. Because you can hide very nearby if the door just opens and closes and they don't see where did you go. They cannot just go knocking every door and searching every house because they think that people will think they are lunatic and they don't want that. But then there is the other question of when. Well, the first time that you realize that something's wrong. The very, very first time. I know that afterwards you think that, oh, it was nothing, it was an accident, it was a one-time thing. But trust your intuition. If something in your head tells you at one point that this is not okay, there is something wrong, there is something inherently wrong, then start preparing. It doesn't hurt anyone. And if a year or two goes by and you are absolutely certain that it was just a one-time thing, or you understood everything wrong, then of course you can take that cash and use it. But I hear very often that what if I would have noticed and acted like I wanted to at that moment? How much grief would I have spared myself of? And I know it's not easy to realize that something is wrong. It's not easy to listen to that intuition that something in his face is not right. He's too mad about me, about this little thing. Is he jealous? Is he paranoid? Is he like overly controlling? Just that one moment. And then of course it goes off. But it may return someday with the vengeance. And of course it all develops so gradually that you may not realize that you may not notice that. But then you'll be more safe than sorry that you have the cash and you have the spare set of keys and you have the habit of keeping the tank half full. Then you thank yourself. And one other thing, you cannot tell to anyone, not a soul. And when you have the big row with your spouse and you make up and everything is like splendid and they say that they are absolutely honest to you and they tell you everything, don't tell you about your escape plan. They will lose it, absolutely. They think that you don't trust them and you don't want them and you don't understand them and anything like that. But no, it's just a preparation for the weaker sex. So don't tell them, no matter how honest they are. If they tell you about the affair and if they tell you how they fell in love with a co-worker and fought themselves through to you back, it doesn't mean that you can tell them that you have been conspiring against them by saving money and keeping half full tank, and be prepared to explain if they find your cash stash. Like that, this world is so insecure, there is wars going on and everything, and what if bank accounts, all these automats, ATMs and credit cards stop working? That has happened before. So you are just a wise wife to save some cash for those days. But of course, I hope that you will not have to really do this, like really escape, that things won't go that far. But if it does, it's good to be prepared. And I realize that if you have children, things are much more complicated. You cannot, it's good if you can get out of the way with your kids when they lose it, but it's much more difficult and it may backfire you in so many ways. But that's a thing that I will not go now. And it's more than in every country, there are different kind of procedures for mothers and children that run. And in my country, it's not easy and it's not guaranteed that your children will be protected. So that's why I don't go there. But this is quite a grim subject, but if you are watching this video even now, then I would suggest that you will start to make an escape plan. Otherwise, you wouldn't have watched this. Despite of it, I wish you strength, and I wish you have a great day, and I see you soon. Goodbye.